a very significant development. U.S. Supreme Court to hear on February 8, 2024, the pivotal and constitutionally most significant, and the one which is going to have a far-reaching effect on the quality, content and practice of U.S. democracy and the functioning of U.S. presidents and the role of the voters. The plea seeks to disqualify Donald Trump from contesting U.S. presidential election, which is going to take place on Tuesday, November 5, 2024. This is Ramadesham Suresh Vasudev, a graduate of Illinois State University, Normal Bloomington, Twin Cities, Illinois, Midwest, USA. What is the core defense which is put up by Donald Trump's advocates, lawyers and legal brains? They contend that Donald Trump did what the US president is supposed to do, which is to see that the presidential elections or other types of elections are held in a legally correct manner, votes are counted properly and results are declared, reflecting the will and decision of the US voters. They say that Donald Trump tried to prevent the hijacking of the last US presidential election by Joe Biden and Democratic Party, despite Donald Trump winning the election fairly and squarely. And in their mind, Joe Biden had lost it convincingly, though narrowly. How about the offense? People who are trying to prevent Donald Trump from being a candidate in US presidential election, which is going to take place on Tuesday, November 5, 2024. Or even if he's allowed and he wins, they contend that he should not be allowed to become the president. They state that Donald Trump staged an insurrection against the US. He tried to get his people to Washington, D.C. to stage a riot, run all over the White House, try to catch hold of the US Vice President and the US Speaker, try to harm them physically, and also a US Senator of US Mexican descent. In the intention of upturning the election results and preventing Joe Biden, the actual winner, from becoming the president, despite Donald Trump losing it and Joe Biden winning it fairly and squarely. It's going to be a Herculean task for the US Supreme Court. Which side wins? It is going to have a great effect on not only the functioning of US democracy and its presidents, but also on the conduct of democratic elections and the elected leaders of other democracies in the world, including France, India, New Zealand, Germany, the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and other democratic countries. Let's wait and see. This is Brahmadesham Suresh Vasudev Bharadwaj, a graduate from Illinois State University. An interesting article in the New York Times predicts that the ruling from the US Supreme Court for Trump on eligibility could doom his bid for immunity. It contends that the Supreme Court would try to recapture his authority and legitimacy. Still, the New York Times report states that the US Supreme Court may be tempted to issue a pair of lopsided decisions, both for the former President Donald Trump and against the former President Donald Trump. Would that be the case? Would the prediction of the New York Times come true? Only time will tell. The Republican Party in Nevada State chooses delegates only in Nevada Republican caucus elections. Trump won 362 votes and secured 97.6% of the votes cast. Binkley got 9 votes and secured 2.4% votes. Donald Trump's challenger, Nikky Haley, was not on the caucus list. Donald Trump was the only major candidate on the ballot in Nevada's Republican caucus. Earlier to this, Nevada also held Republican primary elections in which Nikky Haley was a contestant, but she came second to none of the other candidates. USA Today reported that Donald Trump won caucuses in Nevada and also in Virgin Islands. He picked up victories in Nevada caucus and also the US Virgin Islands caucus on Thursday, February 8th, as he seeks another term as the President of the United States of America. The Pentagraph, the daily newspaper published from Normal, Illinois, carried a story from the Associated Press on February 8, 2024. Supreme Court hears Trump ballot case. Most Americans think generally believe Joe Biden will be the Democratic presidential candidate. total plus. However, right now, there are two challenges to the Democratic presidential election. Joe Biden holds universal majority in the Senate and a wrapping out. Bill Williams, U.S. representative. Presidential candidate, which is most likely to be Donald Trump and less likely to be, at least as on February 2nd, 2024, against Nikky Haley. As on February 4th, 2024, Donald Trump's sole challenger in the Republican primary presidential election, Nikky Haley, former governor of South Carolina State and former U.S. representative to the United Nations. What I mean, Joe Biden sweeps South Carolina Democratic presidential primary, securing 97% of the votes cast on February 3rd, 2024. Would it be Joe Biden versus Donald Trump? Or what is at the moment considered to be a less likely scenario of Joe Biden versus Nikky Haley? Brahmadesham Suresh Vasudev Bharadwaj predicted a few years ago that 2024 US presidential election is going to be a straight fight between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Though 2024 US presidential election is being talked about everywhere in the US, it appears to become a replica of the 2020 US presidential election, a straight fight between Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. as the Democratic presidential candidate and Donald John Christ Trump as the Republican presidential candidate. Because the supporters of the former president, Donald Trump, did not accept the massive victory recorded by Joe Biden in the 2020 US presidential election, and they invaded US Capitol on Wednesday, January 6, 2021, seeking to overturn the electoral verdict, hang Vice President Mike Pence and kill Representative Alexandria Cortez and Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Action had to be taken against unruliness which was never witnessed in the US Capitol at any time earlier. Predictably, the US House of Representatives impeached Donald Trump on the charge of incitement to insurrection, but the US Senate acquitted him on Saturday, February 13, 2021. American media, House of Representatives, Senate, American Police, Department of Homeland Security, National Intelligence Agency, FBI, CIA, Pentagon, and President Joe Biden took several preventive and remedial measures to restore public order and U.S. democracy and make the will of the people reign supreme in the United States. While Nancy Pelosi has turned the House of Representatives into a formidable institution, which tirelessly works for the benefit of the American masses, Chuck Schumer nudged the Senate to be pro-American masses a majority of times. Donald Trump, with his America First, Make America Great Again, bring jobs back to USA, secure borders, strong military and rapid economic development credentials, swiftly emerged as a formidable Republican presidential candidate in the Tuesday, November 5, 2024 US presidential election. Have a good day. This is Brahmadeshi Suresh Vasudev Bharat, a graduate from Illinois State University, Illinois, Midwest, United States of America. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.